The incessant ringing of telephones echoed through police headquarters. Across desks, across corridors, across investigation rooms, the city had questions. The police had very few answers. The murders were no longer being viewed as isolated incidents. What had once appeared disconnected had gradually begun drawing attention towards something larger. Across Kolkata, questions continued multiplying. Answers did not. Reports arrived from different districts, forensic findings accumulated, witness statements filled files. Yet, every new development seemed to add another layer to the mystery. The investigation had reached a stage where facts were plentiful, clarity remained scarce. BK had remained deeply involved in the case, while officers across multiple districts continued pursuing individual leads. He remained focused on the larger picture. Victims appeared unrelated, locations appeared unrelated, circumstances appeared unrelated, yet the pattern refused to disappear. Somewhere beneath the surface, a connection existed. The challenge lay in finding it. Maya and Rakesh continued working through the growing mountains of information. Every report was examined, every lead was pursued, every possibility was considered. The effort was relentless. The answers remained elusive. The investigation continued moving forward, but rarely with the certainty anyone had hoped for. Among the latest developments was the murder of 4 known criminals. The brutality attracted attention. The precision attracted even more. Questions that once appeared settled began returning once again. The deeper BK looked, the more frequently his thoughts returned to the same uneasy possibility. Certain victims had escaped attention while they were alive. Their deaths ensured they would not be ignored. The thought remained unfinished, yet it refused to leave. One particular case continued drawing his attention. A double murder reported from Raniganj. The circumstances appeared simple enough on paper, yet something about it remained unsettled. Experience had taught him to respect such instincts, and so he decided to examine the matter personally. The following afternoon, he left Kolkata and began the long journey towards Raniganj. The roads gradually carried him away from the noise of the city. Industrial settlements replaced crowded streets. Open stretches of land appeared between clusters of habitation. Hours passed beneath an overcast sky. The journey offered him time to think, and the questions followed him throughout. By the time he arrived, local officers were already waiting. Among them stood a young sub-inspector named Sanjit Datta, known simply as SD. The victims possessed little influence. Their deaths had generated little public reaction. The town had already begun returning to normal. Yet, certain details continued refusing to fit comfortably into the official narrative. As the discussion progressed, BK listened carefully. Observations were offered, possibilities were examined, questions were raised. Some remained unanswered. The conversation continued as they moved through the locations connected to the case. The crime scene revealed little that had not already been documented. The reports revealed little that had not already been discussed. Yet, the visit proved useful in other ways. The young officer's observations continued returning to the discussion. Details overlooked by others appeared to hold his attention longer. Certain conclusions seemed to satisfy him less than they satisfied everyone else. By the time the afternoon began fading into evening, certain impressions had already started taking shape. The investigation itself continued presenting more questions than answers. That much had not changed. The road ahead promised to become more demanding. The case was expanding. New connections continued emerging and search for answers showed no signs of slowing down. Before leaving Raniganj, BK made a decision, one that arrived quietly, without ceremony and without discussion. Sanjit Datta would join the investigation team in Kolkata. For the young officer, the opportunity arrived unexpectedly. For the investigation, another set of eyes had entered the search. The return journey felt shorter. By the time BK reached Kolkata, preparations for the next stage of investigations were already underway. Maya continued reviewing evidence. Rakesh continued assembling information gathered from multiple districts. Fresh reports continued arriving. Fresh questions continued emerging. The city remained unaware of how much effort was unfolding behind closed doors. To most people, the murders remained newspaper headlines, television discussions, rumors exchanged in tea shops and street corners. For the investigators, they had become something else entirely, a puzzle that refused to stay still. Days passed, the investigation continued expanding. More officers became involved, more resources became available. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the hunt was gathering momentum. Those responsible remained hidden for now, but the distance separating the hunters from their quarry had already begun shrinking, and somewhere beyond the reach of public attention, events continued, moving steadily towards a confrontation none of them could yet see.
Where stories begin